Today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes buyers make. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. One of the big things I hear from buyers right now is that the market is too hot, prices are too high, things are moving too quickly. Maybe they don't have, cash or financing in place. So what they say is, we're going to wait for the market to shift. Big mistake. If we wait for the market to shift, so many things can happen. Just like when we hit COVID in 2020 and we expected the market to take a total downshift. We thought we were stopping. We thought, the entire economy was going to collapse. Not to say that we don't have inflation and things happening right now that could definitely have an overcorrection and potentially create a recession. But what we have not witnessed in the last 2 years is any slowdown in the housing market. In fact, it's done nothing but speed up. Prices are higher than ever. We have lower inventory of all time, and delaying throughout this year will really only put you in a potentially worse position to buy as interest rates start to creep up. If you are not purchasing a home, maybe you're in a rental or you're in an apartment complex, remember you are still paying a mortgage. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. Purchasing right now before prices continue to rise will actually put you in a better position in the long term, but you may have to adjust your expectations. This property is a really good example of one of the homes I was saying increased in value very quickly. This home was originally built by one of my clients with a builder, and we closed out on this property at about $645,000 in December of 2019. So about 15 months later, my clients had put in the pool, and that's really all the upgrades they did. We listed the home for $850,000 in 2021, so this was early here in the year, and we ended up closing this home out at $945,000. So we went $95,000 over list price, and that was more than $200,000. In fact, it was $300,000 over their original contract price. That happened in about 15 months' time. In order to provide some additional context, this is another home in the same community on the same street, very similar, slightly smaller in square footage, but still a pool, similar size lot. And we can see that this home has now been listed at $1,150,000. In comparison to my property that was listed 1 year ago at $850,000 that sold for $945,000. So this is where we're seeing the significant difference in this market. Low inventory, high demand is creating these price increases that are just going to continue to rise throughout 2022. So delaying on your time frame is not doing you any favors as it stands today. We never know what that future market is going to bring, but we do know what's happening today, and we do know we can help protect our own current wealth by purchasing a home now and not waiting. Another common thing we're hearing from buyers right now is that they don't want to pay over the list price, right? They don't want to pay over appraised value. Well, unfortunately, we're in a market where prices and demand are outpacing the market. What that means is the appraisers can really only use the best, most recent comps. So if we have multiple buyers making multiple offers on properties in one neighborhood, it's going to take a little bit longer for those appraisal values to catch up because we don't have the inventory turnover like we have in a more stable market. What that means for our buyers is if we are competing, we are very likely having to submit offers that are above not only the list price, but potentially above the appraised value. The issue for many buyers in this market is not having the cash on hand in order to make those competitive offers. So when we make an offer, we have to look at the potential appraised value that any lender might find justifiable. So I'm going to use $500,000 because it's easy. So if we have a home listed at $500,000, but other homes in the neighborhood have sold anywhere from 5 to 25% above the list price, then that is giving us a new comp. However, as a listing agent, we are, at least many of us, are pricing homes appropriately for what the most recent comps have done. And maybe those, closed 30 or 60 days ago. Even though I'm confident that a specific property might bring offers of $550 or even $600, the best comp I have available to me might be closer to the $500 mark, which means that's where I need to price it because I really don't know what the appraiser is going to be able to do on total value. So when we price the home at $500,000 and we have multiple offers taking us anywhere from 5% to 25% over value, those are new values. Those are proof of a new market value. Even though it is very difficult for the buyer to stomach paying that over list price or quote over appraised value, those values have been proven in the multiple offers that the seller is receiving. Therefore, we do have a new market value, but the lender may not be able to justify that value based on the other homes that have sold recently in the neighborhood, price point, in the area. So we have to look at this from a standpoint of, if I'm the buyer and I really do want or need to buy a home, I am going to have to play in this competitive market, which means I need to be ready to make offers that are competitive with other buyers in the market. The third thing we're seeing from buyers regularly is that we're not being flexible, right? We all have an idea of where we want to live, what kind of house we want. We may even have a memory bank of what was available 2 years ago at $500,000, what that home might have looked like. We may even know and see some of the homes that sold 2 years ago at $500,000, and maybe today we're seeing those homes listed at $650,000 and even $700,000 in just a short time frame. Well, this is the market we're in today. We cannot continue to compare to the old market or past market values. We have new market values. Our land values have gone up, our construction costs have gone up, our replacement values have gone up. All of the things have changed in this last 2 years, which means we need to be flexible with our market. Even though we may really want to live in a certain school district, in 2,500, 3,000 square feet, maybe we want to pull in the backyard. Those are all great things to want and to work towards. However, based on our budget, we may have to make some changes. We may have to make some adjustments. Maybe we need to be willing to look outside of our preferred school district, or maybe we need to look at a little bit less square footage or look at homes without pools. Every individual buyer is going to have their own needs, their own preferences, and the things that they're willing to give up and the things they're not willing to give up. But we need to make that needs and wants list, and we need to discuss the options of being flexible. Flexible on location, flexible on amenities in the property or amenities in the neighborhood. And then finally, are we flexible on our financing? I mentioned earlier in the video that we're seeing a lot of cash over offers. Well, my buyers are saying, where do I get this cash, right? I barely have enough for my down payment. And that's definitely something, we want to talk about. We want to chat with our buyers and help them make the best decisions for what they have available. So when we start talking about cash, the question I get is, where are people getting cash? Where are they getting 50 or 100,000 over? And I can tell you that's coming from all different places. In some cases, it's coming from, maybe some kind of gift from family, depending on the loan structure. It could be coming from the sale of a previous home. So we're seeing some equity plus the cash out value. It could also be from places like your 401k, or maybe you have stocks that you can sell. Those are things that you definitely might want to consider depending on your position. And if it is something you're going to consider, you need to chat with your financial advisor and your CPA and make sure that this not only makes sense for you financially, but that doesn't kind of hinder something else you're doing with your taxes or with those valuations in the stocks. But they are options, and they are options that many of my buyers have utilized over the last 2 years, and it is definitely working. Some other things we can discuss as we get into the details of what your needs are specifically, but I wanted you guys to kind of see that you're not alone. This market is definitely creating some monsters, right, under the bed that we're a little scared of, and sometimes we don't know the questions to ask. That's okay. We're here to answer those questions. We're here to guide you, we're here to help you, and we're here to make suggestions that may or may not be right for you, but at least it will open the doors to discussion and potentially give you some options that you did not know existed. So if you're looking to make a move, maybe you're just trying to get into your first home, or maybe you're trying to upsize or downsize, or maybe even invest, the Holly Haven Home Team is here for you. We want to help you. We want to be a guide for you, and we want to be a resource. So please reach out to us. There's tons of contact information here below the video. Let's chat. Let's see how we can help. And if you're moving to North Texas, we want to welcome you to the community. Have a great day.